Hi, this is Melanie DewBerry. Thank you for watching these videos and for always leaving your feedback. It's just so helpful. I thought I'd talk about today about something I wrote in my book, and I'm going to expand on it. I wrote a kind of a smaller portion. The book is called The Power of Naming, The Journey Toward Your Soul's Indigenous Nature. And the piece I wanted to talk about was a couple of lines I wrote about being mindful about how you talk about yourself. And so this is coming up for me specifically, and maybe for you as well. And so I'm asking you to be really thoughtful and to be mindful about the things that come out of your mouth about yourself. And so this isn't a new topic. You might have heard something about this before, and so sometimes we need to hear it a few times. And hopefully I'll speak to you in a way maybe you haven't heard it. But so I don't know if you are clearly aware about how you represent yourself in the world, how you verbally represent yourself in the world. And how you verbally represent yourself in the world is how you start to think of yourself and how you carry yourself in the world, right? So one of the things I want you to be conscious of is what is the story you're telling your DNA, your cells, your mind, your heart, your soul, and what are you actually sharing with other people about yourself that could possibly not actually be the true representation of yourself. One of the things I talked about in earlier videos was, really watching how much you say you're sorry, how much you apologize for things that don't really need your apology. But now I want to take it to another core. Since this book came out, and people have been very generous with their praise. And sometimes, people will say, "Oh man, book's going to be a hit." I'm like, "Well, we don't know. I don't know if, I don't think so, And I'm starting to brush it away. And the book is a representation of my work in the world, my art, just like you have your art, whatever your art is in the world, whether you're creating highways or whether you work at the DMV, helping people get their driver's license and those kinds of things. And that personal interaction. We all have our art. And so it's not a humble thing to dismiss who you are and what you do in the world. Or, I started working out about a year ago, and one of my fellow colleagues was like, "Oh my God, your body is really shifting. I can tell the difference." And I'm like, "Really? I don't think so." Instead of really listening to her and taking in what she was saying, I was actually telling her she was wrong, and I'm brushing it aside. And I'm not even giving my heart, my mind, my soul, my DNA an opportunity to really receive, first of all, the kind, loving words and possibly the truth. Or if people say, "So, you're a writer now." I'm like, "No, I'm not really a writer. I just, I wrote a book, but I'm not really a writer." And I'm talking a lot about the book, and I'm not trying to promote the book that much, but I'm just saying it's what's coming up for me. And I'm like, "No, actually, Melanie, you are a writer." And so I want you to be mindful about how you might be dismissive about yourself in the world, or how you might be teaching children to not be proud of who they are. And that a sense of being proud of who you are is to verbally, physically, and emotionally represent yourself that is accurate. That humility is not a use of dismissing who you are. Do you understand the difference? Being humble doesn't mean you don't represent yourself correctly, accurately. Being humble means you actually can represent yourself with a sense of pride, if you want to say that, not arrogance in that kind of puffed up way, but true pride. And that is very humble. It's not about pumping yourself up or being verbose or having, a lot of, proud talk, but it's about really standing in your authority to be exactly who you are. And there's nothing pretty, there's nothing true about you dismissing your particular nature, your organic self, your beauty, your divine place in this universe. Because what you say to yourself about yourself will actually start to limit what's possible for yourself. Even if you believe, "Yeah, I think the book's going well too," but you dismiss it. There's a competition inside your body, inside your mind, inside your heart. It's like, well, which one's the truth? And so it's trying to figure it out. And so you're already limiting possibilities, opportunities. Just learn to either speak in what's true about you or to receive what's true about what other people are saying. So when someone says, that piece of art you made it's just going to sell. It's just going to sell so quickly. Your job is to receive and not say, I hope so. It's like, it's most likely to sell really well. I really agree with you. Or, thank you for saying that. That gives me a whole new perspective on how to represent this piece of art. It will give you actually a whole new perspective on how to represent yourself. Just my short thought for the day. Be true to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Speak words that honor yourself. Don't push away those words when we are trying to honor you. Stand tall in the applause. Accept your truth. Speak it. Walk it. And that is the definition of humility. Ahe, Mitakiyasin.